In the previous discussion, we talked about companies that create digital wallets which use blockchain technology to help us manage our digital identities and digital assets, and in the future will likely be a portal to the metaverse. Let's talk about another type of player who is exploring the metaverse in this lecture. Metaverse, real estate players. These are people who buy and sell plots of land as well as build and operate virtual spaces in the metaverse. Who is this type of player worth mentioning? As you may recall, we previously discussed the science fiction novel Snow Crash, which depicts a computer-generated virtual world. If we follow the protagonist of the novel into this virtual world, we will see a long main street flanked by all kinds of creative spaces built by developers such as buildings, parks, electronic signage, and some things that do not exist in real life, such as giant neon lights suspended in midair, special neighborhoods that are not limited by the laws of three-dimensional space-time, and so on. If you stand on the street and look into the distance, the building and electronic signage will appear to be infinitely long and then vanish into the darkness. What do you think? Isn't it cool? Of course. This is the image portrayed in science fiction. Returning to the present. I believe that at this stage players who enter the metaverse primarily occupy the territory and then develop and operate the creative space. I'll take you on a tour of the metaverse. Realtor's current practice is a metaverse. Real estate agent may be assisted by a person or a team. After entering the metaverse in a digital capacity, the first thing they do is purchase land. Why do you want to purchase land? Because at this point developing a metaverse is analogous to constructing a new city in the real world, and the user can only begin building a digital space and engaging in various activities on it if he purchases land. So where should this land be purchased? On the one hand, the 3 early metaverses mentioned previously will officially sell firsthand. Plots. On the other hand, second-hand trading plots will be available on NFT trading platforms such as OpenSea. What is the cost of a plot in the metaverse? There are low-cost and high-cost options, however, because a large number of investors have been drawn to this area since this year prices have begun to rise. For example, at the start of 2021 the average price of a crypto Voxel plot was less than 1 Ether. By August it had risen to 2.2 Ether because they expected to be appreciated. Some players began hoarding plots in the metaverse. The player with the most plots in crypto boxes, for example, has purchased a total of 261 plots so far. However, this type of land hoarding speculation and the hype is not conducive to the metaverse's healthy development, because just like in the real world, if everyone buys land but does not build their own creative spaces and utilize the plots, it will result in a waste of resources. You might be wondering how big a plot of land is in the metaverse. The height and footprint of the plots are set in advance by the metaverse developers according to a specific scale. At this stage, the size of the plots varies according to what I've seen. The area of a plot in the metaverse can be 50 square meters, 100 square meters, or whatever. The height of the space built on the plot can be 5 and 10 meters, 12 meters, or whatever, apart from buying, selling, and renting. The next thing a metaverse real estate agent does is design and build metaverse buildings for others. You may have a question. The metaverse is open to everyone. Why should I design and build a house by myself? Building, on the other hand, is far too difficult in my experience. Even though anyone can build a digital house from 0 to 1, doing so is extremely difficult. You may need to learn special modeling, software design software, build a process. To consider how a certain effect through a function in the software to achieve a specific goal and so on, all of which take a significant amount of time and effort. Meta-Universe Realtors has expanded its business from land agency to third-party construction services, recognizing that some players may not have enough time and energy. Vauxhall Architects, which built a space in CryptoBox, ALS for Elon Musk's commercial space company. SpaceX is one of the more well-known metaverse construction teams. Third-party construction services are provided by metaverse real estate developers, which lowers the barrier for players to participate in the metaverse experience. On the surface, they appear to be selling houses, but in the metaverse all items including houses are code-generated blockchain, corroborated documents, so they are essentially selling the one-of-a-kind piece of creative digital content. As a result, we believe that observing the realization of the metaverse value system will be heavily influenced by the development of the digital content creation industry. So now that the building is complete and the space is available, what do the metaverse real estate developers do with these spaces? At this 0.1 of the most popular ways I've seen people use the space is to host exhibitions and sell NFT artwork which has created. A closed-loop business model. Metaverse real estate developers will either give away the built space for free or rent it to artists for a fee. They do this to give artists a better space to display their digital works on the one hand and to use the NFT exhibition to attract more users to the metaverse on the other. Okay, now please follow me to take a stroll when we enter the exhibition hall as digital beings. We will see many paintings hanging on the wall. You will be able to check the details with a click, such as who the author is, whether they are currently for sale or auction, and so on. We can communicate with others in the gallery while browsing the works by using basic body movements, text expressions, etc. Assume a user on a metaverse platform has a favorite painting and purchasing it is as easy as clicking on it, because each painting in the metaverse is a digital artwork wrapped in an NFT contract. Clicking on it will take you to an NFT trading platform like OpenSea. If it is tradable, when this user navigates to the NFT trading platform, he will see the artwork's trading information if the work's owner has set a fixed price for it to be sold. He will see the price tag next to the work. If he believes the painting is overpriced and wishes to bargain, he can easily enter a lower price on the trading platform and see if the seller accepts it. Furthermore, some works on the trading platform are traded through auction. In this case, this user will see a specific work, how much time is left until the auction ends, who has placed the highest bid thus far, and so on. Aside from exhibitions, a more common way for metaverse real estate developers to play is to use the space for advertising. I've seen such players buy a lot of land and then pick some of the plots with the most visitors and traffic to use as advertising space. The plots used for advertising space as well as the buildings on them are typically simple. However, the appearance may include a massive billboard, and some advertisements are even larger than the buildings themselves. I've included a screenshot of it. It's an advertisement in CryptoBox ALS by the NFT trading platform Rarible. There are already third-party service providers that do metaverse advertising, the most well-known of which is MVB Metaverse Billboards, a company that has been laying out in metaverse CryptoBox ALS since very early on and has now laid out more than 140 plots and built more than 250 billboards in total. So to summarize the previous content, we stated that the metaverse is an open digital space, and metaverse realtors were an important category of players who explored it early on. They act as land brokers in the metaverse, buying and selling land parcels, and they also provide third-party construction services, developing and designing all types of digital buildings at this stage. The most important form of land and building application of metaverse space is to engage in painting exhibitions and sell advertising space. However, do not look at the metaverse. Real estate developers who build houses do exhibitions and sell advertisements because there is an important issue that I am not sure you have discovered, which is that the early metaverse at this stage does not break through the real world land trading game, which means that the developers and managers of these metaverse still earn money by selling lands. The Sandbox, Decentraland and CryptoBox Owls are three of the more typical early metaverses that are now selling plots of land to the public. The Sandbox and Decentraland are both limited, whereas CryptoBox Owls are unlimited. Isn't this the same as our ideal metaverse? We say that one significant difference between the metaverse and the real world is that the metaverse is not constrained by means of production and natural resources that exist in the real world. If land remains a scarce resource in the metaverse, it can easily be speculated and become expensive, implying that the threshold for users to participate in the metaverse will be high in the future, making it even more difficult for people to freely express their creativity. In the metaverse, land deals in my opinion existed in the early development of the metaverse because the project parties who developed the metaverse needed to sell the land to raise funds to keep the metaverse running. For example, they must spend money to address issues such as network bandwidth, server storage, establishing technical interfaces, marketing and so on. However, I believe that the future metaverse will be unable to rely on land deals. Land in the ideal metaverse should be extremely cheap if not free to users so everyone can easily participate. Be creative and produce creative digital content. If the future metaverse is to solve this problem, developers must find new ways to finance as well as explore new business models. As the metaverse gains more users and people create countless NFT items in it, could the metaverse developers' revenue source become, for example, a percentage of each NFT consumption and transaction, assuming the commission business pattern is correct? This means that the more creative users in the metaverse are, the more valuable digital items they create and the more frequent the transactions are, the higher the overall revenue of the metaverse platform owner will be. As a result, the commission business pattern is more likely to be a reasonable and healthy business model than land trading.